This video is brought to you by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, produced by the Information Support Unit of the Directorate of Agricultural Extension Service.
In yam production, post-harvest losses constitute a major problem to yam growers as well as yam dealers. It has been estimated that 20 to 80% of harvested yams are lost after harvest. Although traditional storage methods are very popular among farmers in most farming communities in Ghana, the methods are very poor as they predispose and make a lot of fresh yam vulnerable to a great deal of heavy losses during storage. The traditional storage methods, in fact, do not provide yams with a prerequisite condition of good ventilation and protection from the hot sun, rains, and activities of pests and decay organisms, and hence exposes them to heavy losses at storage. There is therefore the need for farmers and other value chain players in the yam industry to understand the right storage conditions for the handling of yams to minimize post-harvest losses. In this training video, you will learn how to identify some pre-storage treatments applied to yam, identify appropriate methods that are adopted by farmers for the storage of yams, determine the effect of some storage methods on the nutritional and marketable qualities as well as the shelf life of yam. Major factors have been identified to affect post-harvest losses in yam production. These include selection of planting materials and good agronomic practices, respiration and temperature leading to heat buildup, sprouting, pests and diseases, bruises. At the Tamale Central Market, a yam enumerator with the Regional Department of Agriculture explains the profitability of yams and the described heat as one major factor leading to deterioration of yams.
Ina aiki da Ministry of Agric. Yanzu muna cikin ababu kenan.
My name is Umar Suade. I work with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. I collect data on yam, particularly the price. As at 2019, 100 tubers of yam varied from 600, 500 and 400 cedis depending on the price. In Tamale Central Market, yams come from Yendi, Bimbila, Wulensi, Bandai, Louis, and other yam farming communities.
From Nakwaili, from the Wandae, from Louis.
There are few challenges. The yam tubers do not store long, especially in the heat season. They easily get rotten. Heat destroy yams, leading to losses. Farmers need appropriate measures to store yams. Post-harvest handling of yams starts from the field. Madam Adama Ewuntoma, a lead female yam farmer in Pandai, explains how she minimizes post-harvest losses on a farm by adopting good agronomic practices. She further explains the proper harvesting of yams to prevent bruises and also to ensure that the yam stores longer.
nti de that is to say chita na kokonye yetuntum so no eno bayire enyi nso ewom bio nti enyi nduwe eno ti na yetu ba na hu si ebi aye kase na ebi ye nkituwa no kira se nye nyina ebedua da ba ko nti nyina ntimi free da ba ko obi be free ansa na ebi ya be free kira se ebe bo ansa ena we embo so on the etie nti so ba betu a obe hu si de ahaba yetuntum no be so nde na bayire abo asini na wa de na wa obe harvest dia no nyina ye betina harvest nyina anti se dia ope kase ya obe hu si na harvest nyina na wa tu en na ye ba ye da na ye so be tutu a ewu no sa na wa ye nse na wa da na harvest nse ade so da ni nse na wa ye nti de ma na ye no sa no wan ye sa won timi hu ba ye ni tiri obe ye sa na wa ye ba ye ni tiri ansa na wo de sitan ya ye den e de awurom nti etu so a yempesi sika nka no kirasi sika na aka no a ekoda ho na ekase epro no ndi sika na nka na wonya yi no sa da de obedinu da nbe so a na ampro sika sa atwo no a obehu se babia aye line no obehu se ho no e be da kakra na afro nti sa na ebe ya na obehu se sika ntwa no no ti se wo hwe ndotie mu na wo ye nse wo ya na wo hwe nchenchen no sa na obe na ndotie na sika na ye den enkocho bayere nti wa ye nsia allowance wo ansa na wa ye si ube yesa hu ntri na so nti sa we science we no de ma ya to we ne be dane mpo no we na obesa fa dua na asa ye we ebe ye mienu ana mensa na wasa ye den na wasa fa dua na asa dani we nti ombesa asa ayi so ngote no sa katase sana ye
Conditions necessary for good storage of yam. 3 main conditions are necessary for successful yam storage. These include aeration, reduction of temperature, and regular inspection of produce. Regular inspection of tubers is important to remove sprouts, rotted yam tubers, and monitor the presence of rodents and others. Poor storage of yams is a major contributing factor to the damage of yams. In Abu Abu Market in Tamale, we speak with Mr. Abubakar Mohammed Sani on the proper storage of yams. He further explains the damage caused by rodents due to poor storage structure.
I'm Abubakar Mohammed Sani. I'm yam seller. Normally when we see us display the yam like this, we cover it because we don't want the temperature to be high on it, so we cover it so that the temperature will be low. Because when the heat enters on it, you see that the sun will remove. So that's why we display it like this. You see this one, because the sun is not on it, it will not stay long. But this one, because there is sun on it, it will stay longer.
It is important to note that storage environment must prevent the onset of sprouting. Sprouting increases the rate of loss of dry matter and subsequent shrivel and rotting of tubers. Good storage should therefore maintain tubers in their most edible and marketable condition by preventing large moisture losses, spoilage by pathogens, attack by insects and animals, and sprout growth. Mr. Nakpari Emmanuel, a yam aggregator, discusses different varieties of yams and proper sorting of yams when the tubers are transported from the field to the market. He explains simple storage practices adopted for storing yams at the market. He further explains that the yams should not be stored at locations close to a source of water, since this predisposes the yam to rotten.
Yeah, bayre hu adwuma ewa ha. Aha ya market mo, yam market. Yeah, wo bayre no different, but sisi ano bayre aye ton wo this time no puna bayero no ye select wi a ebi a ye wo bi a enye de enya no ye mfom bom de eya no ho ye yi no different na bayero no ade a bayero no mpe no puna no empe hit this time puna no kwa na ye ton after puna no ye wi a ye wo bayero different bebre ahudo sa ye ton sa akoduru ye ni busum bia ye ton bayre se bayro in case wo de ba ha na sa very day no want me anton bia ye be mo ba bia enyu a wo de betu ho bayro enye de ensei ye de betu duase na ye ditapoli akata so amaw sa be ya bayro enye de ensei se wo di bayro no ba na in case want me anton a enam hit nti ye mo duase ba bia enyu na wo de bayro no agu ho ye be mo tapoli ama wo di akata so the next day na wa ye de na wa bue so na mfirima fo so na atofo no ba na o mato bayar na maw.
The storage diseases of yam can be categorized into 3 based on the symptoms and the causal agents. Dry rot. Dry rot symptoms vary with varying coloration depending on the invading pathogen. When tubers are infected, the tubers turn brown and then become hard and dry, maintaining their integrity except when the tissues are invaded. Invaded tissues become covered with the greenish molds. Tubers infected first turn gray and then black. These tubers become powdery after breaking into small dry particles. Soft rot. Tubers infected by soft rot organisms often turn brown, soft, and become wet due to rapid collapse of cell walls of tissues. Wet rot. Wet rot of yam tubers is characterized by the oozing of whitish fluid out of infected tissues when pressed.
This video is brought to you by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, produced by the Information Support Unit of the Directorate of Agricultural Extension Service.